Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We'll be talking about commercial real estate in Central and Eastern Europe.
Good Thursday morning and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. And here are the news headlines for today's show. And we'll start in Warsaw, where Newmark has released its latest office market report for the first quarter. MAPIC plans to open Promenada Craiova shopping centre in October in Romania. Verts Group is to build a huge logistic park near Budapest. And finally, there's a new retail director appointed at G-City Europe. Please join me later for the rest of the news.
So good Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We're here in Porto Montenegro. I'm here with Courtney Figar, also part of the ESG Western Balkans Summit. So Courtney, thanks for coming out of the conference for a couple minutes, and just tell us what your role here is in the conference today.
Well, I'm moderating a panel that'll be coming up later, and that is on ESG in the banking and finance sector, which is very important because, of course, the financial sector is what greases the wheels of the entire economy. So without the buy-in of the banking and finance sector, there really can be no wholesale adoption of ESG standards, in my view.
Right, and I think for all of our viewers watching it, all of them are commercial real estate. They're really dealing with banking issues at the moment as well. So do you see that being an important part? Do you see ESG really being an important part of them getting refinanced or financing new projects?
Absolutely. I mean, on the one hand, the volatility in the sector could create almost a desperation. And when times are desperate, you may hold back from, maybe let standards slip a little bit. On the other hand, it's really no longer optional to buy into ESG, and there is a financial upside in doing so. So you could also see the opposite reaction, which is now is the time to rethink everything and maybe have better, more sustainable finance for the future.
Right. Well, I think even with the bankers or the real investors, they're like, well, if it's not ESG, don't send it to us. Yeah.
Right. It is getting to the point where you almost can't touch a deal or financing option if it isn't ESG compliant.
Yeah, and just listening to the director of Porto Montenegro, David, who gave a speech earlier, and he was, that was the main focus from the very beginning of the redesign of this whole location.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, good. Courtney, it'll be great to hear about your panel, and it'll be interesting to hear from the bankers what they're really doing, what they're really saying, and what they're really doing. And I think for whether it's on the energy sector, I know a lot of them are doing energy, but of course, real estate and just any general business. Yeah. And you better be ESG compliant if you want to get a loan from them.
That's right. And hopefully I can come back on Coffee with Craig and tell you all about it afterwards.
Well, absolutely. That will be great. Anyway, thank you for watching the show. We'll shoot right over to Winston Norman, our editor-in-chief in Warsaw, who will tell you about today's news. And we'll take a little break first, then Winston, and enjoy the rest of the day. And thank you for being part of the Coffee with Craig show and watching it. And again, Courtney, thank you for taking your time out of today and joining us there. One other thing, tell us a little bit about your new company, because I know you've just moved and maybe not everyone knows.
Right. Well, thank you. Always give me a great platform to explain what I'm doing. I've gone independent and launched Fingard Direct Investment, which is a boutique consultancy advising governments on how to better attract foreign direct investment.
Okay. So your clients are governments.
Correct.
And helping them put together packages for investors.
Correct. Strategic communications for investment promotion.
Right. So if there's any investors out there looking to invest in big infrastructure projects, things like that, they should actually contact you first to find out which governments are actually good to deal with.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for Winston and the news, and stay safe, and we hope you're enjoying the day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Europa Property Baltic Real Estate Awards, May 25th, held in the beautiful beachside city of Sopot, which is part of the Tri-City area on the Polish Baltic coast at the Radisson Blue Hotel. Countries covered in the awards include the Baltics, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Scandinavia and the Nordics, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Norway, as well as Germany, and of course Poland. Book your tickets, sponsorships, and place your nominations now on our website, and feel free to email me for more details.
Welcome back, and we'll start today in Warsaw, where according to the latest occupier report from Newmark, Warsaw's total office stock remained unchanged at around 6.3 million square meters at the end of the first quarter of 2023. The past quarter was the first in over 15 years with no new office projects delivered to the market, as development activity decelerated since the second quarter of 2020. And according to Newmark ESG Advisory Director Agnieszka Giermowska, the coming years will see a growing focus on major refurbishments, repurposing and replacing obsolete buildings with modern projects. This trend will largely be driven by changing occupier requirements regarding the quality of office space, further intensified by EU legislation on the energy efficiency and alternative energy sources, which help reduce environmental impact and lower operating costs, including service charges paid by tenants. Moving to Romania, and in the retail market, Nepi Rockcastle set to open its new Promenada Craiova shopping centre in southern Romania this October. Following an investment of more than 125 million euros, the project will include more than 150 stores. It will have around 78,000 square metres and will include a retail park and a Dediman store of around 16,000 square meters. And according to Rudiger Dani, CEO of Nepo Rockcastle, we are confident in the project's potential, which is why we decided to implement our newest project outside Bucharest. Although the market context remains challenging, I am convinced that this is a favourable moment for investment that will boost the national economy while focusing on sustainability and community support. Moving to Hungary, and in the logistics sector, Belgium developer Verts Group has teamed up with a Hungarian local partner to build a new industrial facility near the airport. The park will offer almost 200,000 square meters of logistics space, and this is the third project realized by the company in Hungary. And the developer aims to attract small and medium-sized manufacturing companies to the airport region. The majority of them cannot find suitable industrial space and are forced to work in tight residential areas. And finally, for today, there's a new appointment been announced, and Shimon Minchuk has joined GCity Europe, formerly Atrium European Real Estate, as the new retail director. Simon has 20 years experience in commercial real estate sector, and he will be responsible for leasing department and the further commercialization of GCity Europe's portfolio in Poland, taking care of 9 shopping centres. And those are the highlights from the EuropaProperty.com website for today. For more news, please join me again tomorrow.
Click here to subscribe to the Coffee with Craig show, and don't forget to share it with your friends.